Hey guys, and welcome to my video on the Pearl Shop. So the Pearl Shop in Black Desert is probably one of the most well-known and infamous aspects of Black Desert. There is a lot of stuff in it, and a lot of stuff that is very critical to sort of progressing through the game at a decent rate, or just enjoying the game as it was meant to be played, as quite a lot of the items in the Pearl Shop are items that should probably be as part of the base game, but were instead removed so that they could be sold to you for pearls. So, the Pearl Shop, you can reach it just by hitting F3, and there's a number of tabs there. You've got the Promotion tab, which is pretty much all the new hot items that they've added with the most recent patches, or any sale items. The Hot and New, which shows all the new items. Blacksmith's Pick, which is the most useful items. Your Pearl Box, which is where you buy pearls. So I'll explain this quickly. Basically, how the Pearl Shop works, at least on Steam, is you don't buy pearls directly. What you do is you buy Cacao Cash, and then you use that Cacao Cash to purchase pearls. So you press Recharge, it'll bring up an interface. You can use that to purchase your pearls. Once you press refresh, it'll appear. You buy the pearls. Then you need to open up your pearl inventory to open the pearls, and then you'll have the pearls and you can use them. So it's a little convoluted, but it's how it is. I think it's something to do with gambling laws, but I'm not too sure, so I'm not going to speculate too much. So after the Pearl Box, there's the Loyalties tab, which is the free stuff. You get 100 loyalties a day just for logging in, and you can save up for some pretty decent items. The best items in the Loyalty tab are probably the weight expansion. So this character, if I scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see she's purchased it the maximum amount of times. You can only purchase it 4 times per character, which means after 4 months, your character will have an extra 200 weight if you purchase them all 4 times. Apart from that, for loyalties, there's a few other decent items. There's a few random scrolls, Alien's Tier, energy tonics that you can get if you really need something for that day. You've got the Petrigio's costume bag. I'm trying to think of anything else really useful. You can get Artisans Memories, but it costs 4 days worth of loyalties. So unless you really need it for like a Liberto or something, not really too worth it. Inventory expansion, but overcosted. Character select coupons, which is pretty nice. And a few other goodies. So Loyalty Shop, nothing super amazing, but you're not going to regret getting anything from here either. The Function tab is probably the most useful tab. The Function tab is where you can get weight, inventory, Artisans Memories, Blacksmith's Books, and other cool stuff like that. Slot expansion, so character slots, storage slots, stable slots, and workers' lodgings, especially workers' lodgings. A guild name change coupon if you're a guild master, as well as golden bells for those of you that want to be generous. The gear bag, brand stones, character name change coupon, equipment tailoring coupon, and a family name change coupon. Then there's travel aid, which is there's a few interesting stuff here, such as the blessing of Kama Sylvia, the value pack, skill book of combat. But apart from that, there's nothing super required. Oh, and maids are in here. Interior or outfits, which I recommend not buying with the Pearl Shop unless you want to sell them yourself because you have a lot of extra money. Interior, which is for decorating the home. Mounts, which is you can't buy actual horses here, but you can buy stuff to make your horses look pretty. Pets, probably the most important part of the shop after function. And the beauty part, which is pretty useless because as long as you have a value pack, you pretty much have all of this. So the most important items in the Pearl Shop would be pets and the function tab. Well, value packs. Pets, you want at least 5 of them at tier 1. And you want them ASAP because pets are the auto loot system in Black Desert. If you want to auto loot, you need pets. A tier 1 pet will auto loot once every 4 seconds. And you can have up to 5 of them out at once. So getting 5 pets is one of the best pickups in the game. Now, pets are the reason that when people talk about Black Desert, they say that the base price of Black Desert is $60. $10 for base game, and $50 for pets. Because you really do, if you plan to do grinding anywhere near serious at all, like you can go 56 or even higher, you want pets. It makes your life so much easier. You don't have to spam that R key. You don't have to constantly keep clicking every time you murder a set of monsters. It'll increase your grinding speed hugely, your silver per hour hugely. Pets are super important in Black Desert. You can win pets off the marketplace. However, that's pretty rare. I've won, I want to say 3 myself. I won a Karlstein cat, a turtle, and can't remember what the other one I won was. But yeah, it's really rare to win pets off the marketplace. Do not rely on winning pets off the marketplace to get all 5 of your pets. It will take you a while. The other important parts are function and travel aid. So function, once you've chosen a main, this is when function becomes most important. Because realistically, you want at least a 200 weight limit increase. You probably want at least 1 plus 16 inventory expansion, if not all the weight increases. Because the most annoying thing in Black Desert is the limited number of inventory slots combined with the fact that you have to buy weight. Because there's no way to increase your weight in the normal game past, there's a very limited amount there. You can get up to about 300 or 400 extra weight if you dedicate an entire gear set to it and equip the proper belt and do a bunch of strength training. But for the most people, they'll only get about plus 130 at any one time because you'll have a belt equipped and you'll do strength training. That's pretty much it for most people for weight. So getting extra weight is huge. Like, as you can see here, there's 200 plus another 300, so 500 weight available here, another 200 available from loyalties, and every so often there's a limited time plus 250 that comes for sale. So altogether, that's 950 extra weight that my character has that a regular character does not have. And as you can see, you take 950 off of my character, I'm down to like 510 weight. So getting at least a single weight increase will make your life in Black Desert much easier. Inventory isn't as important. Inventory, it's nice to have, especially when grinding. You can start to run out of inventory spaces very quickly if you're not in a party using the automatic send to market feature for party loot distribution. But inventory, proper inventory management is possible, and you can manage your inventory without having to buy any extra inventory. It's annoying, but it is doable. So I wouldn't say get the inventory. I wouldn't say it's required. I'd just say if you have the money for it, getting at least a single plus 16 will make your life easier. It's not as good as the weight, but it's still pretty nice to have. Slot expansions are probably the most pay-to-win thing in Black Desert that is in Artisans Memories that people never talk about. So storage can be gained in-game through contribution points. So I'll actually get out of here for a second. Using your contribution points, you can invest in the various towns, such as Heidel, to increase the amount of storage that you have in those towns. Now, the problem is contribution points are used for much more than just investing in storage. You want to use them to invest in your worker empire. You want to use them to invest in lodgings in towns so that you can get more workers. They can be used for farming. There's quite a few very useful uses for contribution points, and using them in storage means that you are losing quite a bit, millions and millions of silver a day for each 5 or 10 contribution points that you sink into storage in a town. So the ability to buy storage and even better lodgings means that you can then invest these contribution points into other areas of the game. If I have, let's see, where is it? Function. So if I purchase the maximum amount of storage that I need, so say I need 120 storage per town, and you only start with 16 storage per town, so it's not like you get a lot. You get another 16 slots for each town if you have a value pack, but that's still only 32 slots. So if I purchase an extra 80 slots for Heidel, and maybe an extra 20 to 40 slots for each other city that I'm currently in, which is pretty much every city in the game, I can free up probably over 100 CP. Lodgings are even worse because lodgings, there is no way to get extra lodgings in the game if you want more lodgings past the base amount of lodgings available in a town. If you're in Velia and you want more than the 6 or 7 base lodgings available, you need to buy the Balanos Workers Lodging expansion coupon. And you can only buy 3 per area, but that's still quite a bit. It's very powerful. If you have a decent work number at all, I would definitely recommend these if you can afford them. I can't really justify it, so I don't. But if you can afford these will increase your earnings per day, your passive earnings, but rather substantially. Next up, you've got Travel Aid. So Travel Aid has the subscription for Black Desert, the Value Pack. So the Value Pack is Black Desert's version of a subscription. Unlike games such as World of Warcraft, where you have to have a subscription to play the game, Black Desert's subscription is more of extra in-game stuff for agreeing to support the game. Now, the benefits are pretty nice. Inventory expansion, 16 slots. Storage expansion, 16 slots. These are not permanent. You only have them while you have a Value Pack enabled. Combat skill and life and horse experience, plus 10%. So that's whatever, you can ignore that. Distant node investment, which is pretty huge. This is really useful if you want to kind of play around with your worker empire, maybe invest in a node here, uninvest there. This is Value Pack is super useful for that. Extra 100 weight limit. Unlimited use of Merv's Palette, unlimited beauty salon, and then the big one, the most important of all of these bonuses, a 30% bonus to the marketplace sales collection amount. So the marketplace in Black Desert takes a 30% tax off of any item you sell. If you sell an item for 100 million silver, you will only get 70 million silver when you collect that. It doesn't erase the full 30% actually. It takes 30% of the tax off. Basically, you now pay 15.5% in tax instead of 30%. Still pretty big, but nowhere near as bad as before, and this will allow you to make millions and millions of extra silver. I probably sell about 1 billion silver worth of items every month. Probably a bit more than that, actually. So saving an extra 14.5% means that I'm saving 145 million silver just for having the Value Pack enabled when I claim my items from the marketplace. So it's actually really huge. Having a Value Pack going at all times is heavily recommended if you're playing the game actively. If you're just AFK fishing or processing, you don't need to have a Value Pack enabled because when you sell the items, the marketplace tax only applies when you collect the items. So if you put 30 really hard to sell items in the marketplace, you can wait till they all sell to activate a Value Pack to maximize basically the time that you have to use the Value Pack and collect the goods. So Value Pack is probably the best cash shop purchase in the game after pets. It's something you want to have going at all times. You can snipe them off the marketplace, but it's pretty difficult, just like pets. I've won one Value Pack ever since I started playing. So pretty difficult to win them, although they are pretty cheap. So if you have a marketplace made, try to snipe at as many of them as you can. Sooner or later, you'll probably get lucky. Also in the Travel Aid is the Blessing of Kama Silve. So the Blessing of Kama Silve is, if you're a gatherer or if you like to grind, a very powerful buff. It increases your energy recovery from 1 per 3 minutes to 3 per 3 minutes, meaning you regain 60 energy per hour instead of 20, which means you can gather much more effectively. It also increases the item drop rate by 20%, which means if you're grinding, you'll get a lot more items, which means you'll get a lot more money. You'll get a lot more silver from grinding. Very powerful buff, but it is pretty pricey. For a full month, you will need to pay 2,500 pearls, or $25. So if you have the extra money, you can try. It's basically a secondary subscription, though. And if you're not super into gathering or combat, so grinding, then it's not really necessary. It is very powerful, especially early in the game, though, when you're trying to roll workers, you're trying to use your limited energy to gather, and you always feel like you need more energy. It's very powerful early game. Later in the game, once you get to a larger energy pool, if you get to 200 or 300 energy, burning through that energy pool is already difficult enough without gaining 3 times as much energy at the same time that you're trying to use the energy. So you don't necessarily need it later in the game. but the 20% item drop rate is still very powerful. So definitely a good item, just not as good as the value pack. The other very important item over in Travel Aid is the Maids. And the Maids are probably, in my opinion, the Maids are the second most important purchase you can make in the cash shop that is permanent. So you've got your pets, and then you've got your Maids. And the reason for this is, I say Maids, but realistically I only mean transaction made. So what Maids do is they allow you to interact with your storage and the marketplace. You place them in your house, and then you can remote access the nearby storage for the capital town city of whatever region you're in. So I'm currently in the Serendia region, which means I access Heidel's storage. If I was in Medea, it would be Alta Nova. If I was in Balanos, it would be Velia, so on and so forth. So here I can put in up to, I believe it's 100 LT worth of items every 15 minutes per storage maid I have. And the marketplace maid is even better. The storage maid is kind of, so weight and inventory are both character bound. If you buy weight on one character, it will not transfer over to your other characters. However, storage maids are account bound, which means all your characters can use your storage maids. So if you're having trouble deciding on a main, buying a few different storage maids and then using those as a way to kind of increase your base weight limit without increasing your actual weight limit is a fairly good way to circumvent the weight limit cap. Now, it's not perfect. There are problems with the method, but it works, and storage maids are pretty useful to have anyways. But the true power is marketplace maids. A marketplace maid allows you to purchase or sell items off the marketplace. It'll use the silver held either in your inventory or in the storage of the main capital city near you. And this lets you bid on items that come up. For example, a value pack was registered 10 minutes ago. If I had wanted to, if I'd been there when it was going up, I could have bid on the value pack and tried to win it. This Tridandelion Vedient is going up, like right here, I could bid on this Ninja the Warhawk weapon and outfit set. The Dandelion Vedient that's coming up, I could bid on that and potentially win it. So Marketplace Maid, super useful, especially for bidding on value packs and pets, because you only have 1 minute from the time they're posted to the time that they show up on the marketplace, which is not always enough time to switch to an alt and bid. So it's super useful to have Marketplace Maids. They'll let you snipe boss gear, they'll let you snipe pearl items. They're really useful to have, really powerful, and you can get one for free from a Black Spirit quest. So don't feel the need to go purchase one right away. At around level 55, 56, I believe, you get one from a Black Spirit quest. You can only choose one or the other, though, one transaction or one storage. So if you don't have a transaction, definitely get a transaction made from that quest. Now, there's a few other powerful items in the Pearl Shop. The most powerful in Pay to Win is what I mentioned earlier, Artisans Memories. Artisans Memories are a very simple item. All it does is it increases the durability recovery amount by 4 times when recovering a gear item's max durability. What this means is if you're using a memory fragment to recover 1 durability on, for example, your class's Zarka, then if you use a memory fragment with an Artisan's Memory, it'll instead recover 4 max durability. Which means that you are essentially, for every memory fragment you use, you're saving 2.25 million silver, so 2,225,000 silver for every Artisan's Memory you use. It is really powerful. It will save you tons of silver. It will save you tons of memory fragments. It's practically even better if you are upgrading blue items, such as Liberto or the Awakening weapons, because you can just use a base version of those, which is already better than using memory fragments, as they cost like 6 million for the base, and memory fragments would be 10 for 7.5 million. And an Artisan's Memory means that you will recover 40 durability with a single 6 million silver weapon. So these are super powerful, but they're also rather expensive. If you want 100 of them, it's going to cost you 4,000 pearls, or $40. They are not cheap. I mean, they're cheap individually. If you're only doing Libertos, for example, you can actually just get them for loyalties at 1 for every 400 loyalties, I believe. Should be down here somewhere. Yeah, right here. 1 for 400 loyalties. But they are probably the most pay-to-win item in the game, as they directly save you silver and enhancement materials, well, memory fragments, for using these. It is incredible just how useful they are, but it's also fairly expensive for the average player to use, so most players don't end up using them super often, unless you really, really want something and you break down and buy some. So Artisans Memory is super powerful, but if you don't have the money, you're probably going to get pretty salty about them pretty quickly, because they are an extremely huge benefit to paying players. So apart from those, there's not that many other items in the cash shop that are super essential to every single player. If you like horse training, then I believe it might be in Travel Aid. It's somewhere. If you like horse training, the horse reset skills and horse... not too sure where they are. They're somewhere in there, though. The horse skill resets and horse breeding resets and other stuff are in the cash shop. If you're a fisherman, one little tip that a lot of players don't know is item brand spellstones. So what an item brand spellstone does is branding an item reduces the repair cost by 33% and the durability consumption by 50%. It's okay if you want to put it on your weapon, but where it really shines is a fishing rod, because a fishing rod uses its durability every time you cast it. If you put a brand stone on it, you can double the amount of casts that you can make with a single fishing rod overnight, which means if you have 70 max durability on your Balanos rod and you brand it, that is essentially 140 max durability. Really powerful, pretty cheap too at only 400 pearls. If you are an AFK fisherman, I would definitely get this and brand your Balanos rod. You will not regret it. Apart from that, there's costumes. So the canapé set reduces cooking time if you want to cook. The Venicil set, or the Karki set for male characters, is what allows you to do AFK processing from the storage. This is probably the most powerful costume in the game, if I'm being honest. And it's what I wear at all times because, well, it's a really cute maid outfit. So double win. For the men, it's a suit. It's a butler's uniform. So it looks pretty sweet there as well. The ghillie suit allows you to hide your character's name and guild name. So if you're grinding and you don't want people decking on your guild, you don't want people jumping you out of nowhere, equip a ghillie suit and they won't be able to tell who you are, and often it means that they just won't attack you. Now it does cost 3,400 pearls, but the benefit can be worth it to quite a lot of players. And there's two appearances. There's the Treant camouflage, which is this one, and there's the desert camouflage, and they both have a different set effect. The desert one, desert illness resistance goes up by 50%. Whereas for the Treant one, you get an extra +1 to gathering. So, both look pretty cool. This one's more Assassin's Creed, which is more my style. But this one looks pretty awesome as well. Apart from that, there's not too much else that I'd consider absolutely essential in the Pearl Shop. Like, there's a few niche things like ghillie suits, costumes if you're into processing or fishing, such and such. Character slot expansions are obviously useful if you want more characters, but they're not needed by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, so the Pearl Shop in Black Desert gets a lot of flack, rightfully so, for double dipping. They've got weight and inventory, and not only that, it's character bound. Every single female character in the game wears the same costumes, like the Splatfishers. Same with every male character for the male versions of them. They look the exact same on all of them, and yet they are locked to the class you buy them for. For example, you get the Dark Knight version. So if I wanted to send my Dark Knight's... where's my Venicil? If I wanted to send my Dark Knight's maid costume over to my Ranger would not be able to wear this. Only my Dark Knight can. And there are a lot of things such as Artisans Memories, which are pretty much blatantly pay to win. But if you want to play Black Desert, using the Pearl Shop is essential for proper progression. You are handicapping yourself hugely if you play the game without using the Pearl Shop at all. No matter what part of the game you like, the Pearl Shop will enrich your experience in some way, no matter what you do. By design, they have purposely removed parts of the game that should exist in a game from 2015 and taken them out so that they can sell them back to you in the Pearl Shop. But the fact of the matter is, that's how the game is, and not much we can do about it. But those are the important Pearl Shop items. I'm sure there's a few that I missed that are super essential to some players or another. Outfits, like I said, I wouldn't recommend buying outfits from the Pearl Shop because outfits are the easiest things to snipe from the Pearl Shop. If you just look over here, you can see I've sniped a lot of various outfit pieces. My Musa, my Dark Knight, my Wizard, I want to say my Ninja as well. I've got outfits for all of them. My Meiwa. Classes I don't even play, I've got outfits for just because if I see a really cute outfit, I'll bid on it just in case I ever play the class. Now, if you do want a specific outfit that doesn't get posted very often, for example, my dream outfit for the Dark Knight is the Animos set, but I've never gotten it because it never goes up in the marketplace, and when it does, I don't win it. But for the most part, especially if it's a new outfit, it'll go up pretty often, especially for the more popular classes, such as Wizard, Witch, or Mystic. So just keep bidding on it, try to win it, and usually you'll win it sooner rather than later. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video on the Pearl Shop. I hope this video was informative. Subscribe if you liked it. Comment below if there's items I missed that you personally think are super important to progression in Black Desert, or just for your quality of life playing the game. And have a good one, guys.